It's the 4th century, and here, on the restless waters of the Red Sea, history is about to be rewritten, not by a king's decree or a general's conquest, but by the simple, unpredictable currents of chance.
Picture a merchant vessel cutting through the waves. It's heavy with cargo, filled with the stories of a long, long voyage from India. The destination, the profits, they're almost within grasp. The men on board, well, they couldn't possibly have known that their journey carried a kind of verdict, not just for them, but for the soul of an entire civilization.
Because in these waters, where pirates and opportunity lurked, this ship wasn't just sailing towards port, it was sailing straight into an ambush, a sudden, brutal act that would completely redirect the course of a kingdom.
Welcome to Insight History HD. Together, we will peel back the layers of narratives long locked away in the archives of history.
The attack itself, it was swift, it was brutal. The Syrian merchant was killed, but his 2 young sons, Frumentius and Idasius, were spared. They were captured, their lives changed forever, and brought to the court of a kingdom they had almost certainly never even heard of, the Kingdom of Aksum.
So what begins as this awful personal tragedy, it delivers these 2 boys to the very center of immense power. A single, random act of piracy becomes this totally unlikely bridge, connecting a small Syrian family to one of the great superpowers of the ancient world.
To really get a sense of the world these boys just entered, you have to see it through the eyes of people from that time. The influential Persian prophet Mani, back in the 3rd century, was assessing global power. And he didn't just list 3 kingdoms, he listed 4. Right there, alongside Persia, Rome, and China, he puts Aksum. This place wasn't some remote outpost, it was a recognized global heavyweight.
And Aksum's power? It was all about geography. It literally straddled Africa and Arabia, controlling both sides of the Red Sea. From its main port city, Adulis, it had a lock on the vital trade arteries that connected the Roman Empire with India and all the rich resources of the African interior.
This strategic position made Aksum the place to be for the world's most desired luxury goods. I mean, it exported African treasures, ivory, gold, you name it. And in return, its markets were just flooded with silk from the east, wine and glassware from the west. The capital was this incredible, cosmopolitan crossroads where cultures, ideas, and of course, massive fortunes all came together.
And it is right here, in this crucible of power and commerce, that our story takes its most important turn, focusing on the absolutely improbable journey of one of those captured boys, Frumentius.
The path Frumentius takes is one of history's great ironies, isn't it? He's captured, he's enslaved, but his intelligence, his character, they earn him a position of real trust in the royal court. He rises all the way to become the personal tutor to the heir, the young Prince Izana. Just think about that. The fate of the kingdom's entire spiritual future was placed in the hands of a foreign captive.
And the influence of that former captive, well, it turned out to be profound. Sometime around the year 333 CE, King Izana, who's now on the throne, makes a decision that will echo for centuries. He declares Christianity the official state religion. And just like that, a decision born from a pirate attack decades earlier makes Aksum one of the very first Christian states in the entire world.
The evidence for this seismic shift is literally etched in gold. Look at this. On the left, a coin from before Izana's time, and you can see the pagan symbols, the crescent and disc. But on the right, that's Izana's coin after his conversion. The old symbols are gone, replaced by the Christian cross. And as the source Exploring Aksum points out, this was a historic first. Aksum became the first state in history to put a cross on its coins, a bold, tangible declaration of its new identity for the entire trading world to see. Now, for centuries, Aksum's Christian identity and its commercial power were totally intertwined. But the world around it was changing, and the very sea that had brought the kingdom its wealth and its faith would soon become the reason for its isolation.
The decline wasn't a single event. It was more like a slow strangulation that took place over 200 years. First, you have the Persian Empire expanding, putting pressure on Aksum. Then, in the 7th century, new Arab naval powers start to systematically take over the Red Sea trade routes. The final blow comes around 700 CE, when Adulis is destroyed. The kingdom's gateway to the world was slammed shut, forcing them to retreat inland, into the highlands.
And while other things were going on, climate change, invasions from nomadic tribes, the primary cause was economic. According to sources like the decline and collapse of the Kingdom of Aksum, the loss of money from its port city, Adulis, that was the decisive factor.
Without that income from trade, the whole complex system that held the kingdom together just started to fall apart.
But here's the final and maybe the most incredible twist in the whole story. Forced inland, cut off from the cosmopolitan world it once dominated, Aksum didn't just fade away. Instead, its isolation allowed that Christian identity, the accidental faith brought by a captured boy, to deepen, to evolve, and to forge a unique national story that would last for 1,000 years.
A powerful national myth began to take root. The rulers who came after claimed a new divine lineage. They said they were descended directly from the biblical King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba. This Solomonic dynasty became the very bedrock of Ethiopian identity, a story that legitimized their rule and defined them as a kind of chosen, biblical people for centuries.
This connection was then cemented by another foundational legend, that the Ark of the Covenant itself, holding the Ten Commandments, was carried from Jerusalem to Aksum. The belief that this holiest of relics is still protected there today, well, it transformed the old imperial capital into Ethiopia's sacred center, a new Zion.
And this wasn't just ancient history. As you can see from this 20th century seal stamp, the legend of the Queen of Sheba and the Solomonic line was still a vibrant part of modern Ethiopian identity. It's an identity forged in the isolation of the highlands, an isolation that was a direct result of a Christian conversion set in motion by a random pirate attack more than 1,000 years earlier.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it, about the delicate threads of causality that weave our own world together. We tell ourselves these grand stories about destiny and design, but they so often hide the profound impact of the accidental. That one single random event that changes absolutely everything. How much of who we are was decided not by some grand plan, but by pure chance.